here from the great state of Texas, the very soggy great state of Texas here tonight. This is Jared Fowler coming to you live here on this New Year's Eve edition of NHL 21. And thank you to everyone who's been tuning in to my videos on the IHL preseason hockey. And tonight I'm going to do the official IHL team reveal. And hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, and hope everyone's staying safe out here tonight, especially here in Texas. It's very soggy and wet, and reports of sleet here in the area, so it's very nasty out there for all my Texas friends. So please be safe out there. Have a great time, but be responsible. And I want to give a shout out tonight to the new love of my life, and that is Samantha Hirado. I met Samantha back over the summer, and she is currently a student at the University of Texas in Austin, and we've been dating for the past 6-7 months now. But I'm very happy today, for the first time in a long time, in over a year and a half. I can honestly say I am happy, and thanks to everyone who supported me throughout this very difficult time. I know it's been a very difficult year, to say the least, for all of us, of course, with the fallout of the presidential election, but we're about to come into a new year, and COVID-19 situation, or the hockey about to get back underway in January the 15th, and the AHL previously announcing 24 hours ago that the AHL season will start on February the 5th. So looking forward to that, as this will be my second year of an AHL off-ice official. But hope everyone's having a good time out here this New Year's Eve. And immediately following tonight's reveal, we will have a final IHL preseason game as the New York Enforcers will host the New Jersey Violators, and they will be in this team reveal here tonight. So without further ado, here we go with the 2020-2021 IHL team reveal. And let's start with the Arizona Scorch out of the Pacific Division of the IHL. And some of you will recognize the uniform, but for those who are hockey historians, there it is, the IHL Scorch, the Arizona Scorch, based out of Prescott Valley, Arizona, where they will play at the Findlay Toyota Arena, former home of the Arizona Sundogs. And for all you hockey historians out there that covered minor league hockey in the past, I modeled their uniforms after the ill-fated launch of the Tucson Scorch back in the Western Professional Hockey League. The Scorch were slated to begin as an expansion team in the WPHL in the 2000-2001 season. However, on the eve of their first game, they were getting ready to board the bus and head to El Paso for their first game ever. But unfortunately, there were deadlines that had to be met, and the ownership did not reach those deadlines. So the Scorch folded before even playing one single game. So very unfortunate situation. But here they are, here in the IHL, and there are the away unis. Arizona Scorch of the Pacific Division. They will play in the Pacific Division in the new IHL out of Prescott Valley, Arizona. Moving on. Here is the Augusta Lynx out of Augusta, Georgia, one of the brand new teams this year in the IHL. And there you see the home uniforms, the Augusta Lynx. They once existed in the Southern Professional Hockey League. Did not last very long, however. But here they are in the IHL out of Georgia. And here is the road unis for the Lynx. The Lynx will be playing out of the Atlantic Division in the IHL this season. And up next, my hometown team, the Austin Ice Bats, making their return to the IHL. And there you see the home unis for the Austin Ice Bats and head coach, former Ice Bat enforcer Ryan Anderson. There you see modeled after the WPHL season, the hockey boom of 1996, and that is the home uni for the Austin Ice Bats, playing under the brand new Domain Arena just off of Mopac Road, Mopac Expressway in the capital city of Texas. And there you see the away unis for the Ice Bats. The new Bat Cave, as it's been dubbed, built at the Domain. Lots of shopping centers in that area. And they have an alternate uni featuring the skyline of downtown Austin. Playing out of the South Division and the IHL this season, the Austin Ice Bats making their return to the IHL. Up next, we will have the Cleveland Rockers, home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, out of Cleveland, Ohio, playing out of the Quicken Loans Arena, the Q, if you will. They're the home unis for the Cleveland Rockers. Hence the name, the Rockers from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio. They'll be playing out of the North Division in the IHL. This is one of the new teams this season. And there are the away unis for the Rockers. The Cleveland Rockers from the North Division. Moving on, we have the Colorado Bison of the Pacific Division. And there are the home unis for the Bison. Last season, the Turner Cup champions were the Colorado Crushers, and they have been rebranded the Colorado Bison. Hailing out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, in the newly renovated World Star Arena. And there you see the road unis for the Bison. Colorado Bison from the Pacific Division and Colorado Springs, Colorado. Moving on back to the state of Texas, here are the Fort Worth Brahmas making their return to the IHL. Playing out of the brand new Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas, Cowtown. Home unis for the Brahmas, and here are the road unis. A little bit of change up from last season. I think a little more color to their arsenal here. And here are the alternate unis for the Brahmas in Cowtown in Texas. Fort Worth Brahmas and their head coach Dan Wildfong returning for a second season in the IHL. They did make the playoffs last year, but were swept in the first round. And up next, from nearby Frisco, Texas in the DFW Metroplex, the Frisco Renegades playing out of the Dr. Pepper Arena in Frisco, one of the training centers of the Dallas Stars. And here are the Renegades, another new team added to the IHL this season. The home unis for the Frisco Renegades. And there are the away unis. One of the newest teams in the IHL this year, the Frisco Renegades, also out of the South Division. And moving on to Greenville, South Carolina, here are the Greenville Guardians. Greenville Guardians will play in the Atlantic Division here in the IHL. There you see the home unis for the Guardians. Playing out of the Greenville Coliseum in Greenville, South Carolina. Pretty good setup for the Greenville Guardians. Out of the Atlantic Division and one of the other new teams here in the IHL this season. And introducing some of these, this name might be familiar to some of you, from the province of Nova Scotia. Here we are, the Halifax Highlanders. And for those of you who have watched the movie Goon and Goon 2, featuring Sean William Scott, the main character Doug Glatt, and his team, the Halifax Highlanders, playing out of the North Division, hailing out of Halifax, Nova Scotia in Canada, playing in the Scotiabank Arena. Another new team here in the IHL this season, one of 4 Canadian teams out of 4 provinces here in the IHL this season, and here are the road unis for the Highlanders. Almost similar to the movie uniforms that the Highlanders wore in the Goon movies. Moving on, also in Canada, from Hamilton, Ontario, here are the Hamilton Tigers. Another new team here in the IHL, out of the First Ontario Centre in Hamilton. Hamilton, Ontario, trying to get an NHL team. That is why they built the First Ontario Centre, which was then known as Cops Coliseum. There you see the home uniforms for the Hamilton Tigers. Also playing out of the North Division in the IHL. And here are the away unis for the Tigers. The tiger stripe sleeves on both the home and away unis. And here are the alternates. All orange for the Tigers. They will begin play this season. Another one of the new teams here in the IHL, the Hamilton Tigers. And here is a name very familiar to everyone here and all the hockey community, the Hartford Whalers. They are making their return to pro hockey. Hartford Whalers out of Hartford, Connecticut, playing in the XL Center in Hartford. A lot of teams have been wanting to get the Whalers back since the original Whalers moved to Carolina to become the Hurricanes. They did win a Stanley Cup back in 2006. That was the Carolina Hurricanes, and now, but formerly the Hartford Whalers. And here are the new Hartford Whalers in the IHL this season, another new team. Here's the road unis for the Whalers. And a lot of people in Hartford are excited. The Whalers are back, this time as a member of the International Hockey League. Moving on to another new team out of the North Division from Rosemont, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. Here is the Illinois Riot, playing out of the All-State Arena in Rosemont, Illinois. And here are the road unis for the Riot. Chicago Wolves once played in the IHL before being absorbed by the AHL after the demise of the original IHL. But now here are the Illinois Riot as the IHL hockey returns to the greater Chicago area. Illinois Riot out of the Atlantic Division. And moving on to another familiar name for any people that followed minor league hockey, defunct hockey teams. Here are the Jacksonville Lizard Kings, playing out of Jacksonville Municipal Arena, the ViStar Memorial Arena in Jacksonville. Jacksonville Lizard Kings, once of the ECHL back in the early 2000s. And a look at the away unis for the Lizard Kings. And the Lizard Kings will be playing out of the Atlantic Division. And moving back to the state of Texas, here is another return. Another team returning to the IHL for another season. Here are the Laredo Bucks, playing out of the Laredo Energy Arena in the border town of Laredo, Texas, down in the valley, the Rio Grande Valley. And there you see the home uniforms for the Bucks. They've had a good following back when they were a member of the CHL back in the mid-2000s, winning back-to-back President's Cup championships. There are the road unis for the Bucks. From the South Division in the IHL. And another new team entering the league this year from the Pacific Division. Here are the Los Angeles Thunderbirds, or the T-Birds if you will, coached by the legend Rafi Valadares. Here are the T-Birds playing out of Inglewood, California, another suburb of Los Angeles, at the newly renovated Forum in Inglewood, California. One of the big complex down to the brand new SoFi Stadium, home of the Chargers and the Rams of the NFL. And the T-Birds making their debut in the IHL. And here's the road unis. And the aforementioned head coach, the living legend Rafi Valadares, coaching the LA T-Birds. Moving on to another new team here in the IHL in the Atlantic Division, the Mississippi Surge. Out of Tupelo, Mississippi, the Vancourt South Center. The former home of the Tupelo T-Rex, and they have since rebranded as the Mississippi Surge. Home unis for the Surge, and here are the away unis. Mississippi Surge out of the Atlantic Division. And another newcomer here in the IHL, back to the Pacific Division, the Nevada Hot Dice, based out of Reno, Nevada. Very colorful uniform for the Hot Dice. playing in the High Roller Arena in Reno. Head coach is Mark Weber. And there is the alternate uni for the Hot Dice. Nevada Hot Dice out of the Pacific Division from Reno, Nevada. And up next, the team coming up next here on SGTV, and the final exhibition game of the season, the New Jersey Violators. Head coach is Chuck Skull. Playing out of the Meadowlands Arena that has since been abandoned when the Devils left town for Newark. But now it's found a new lease on life once used as a studio, a sound stage. But it's since been repurposed back into a hockey rink and now is the home of the New Jersey Violators. You see the away unis for the Violators wearing the black and gold. For the newcomer to the IHL, the New Jersey Violators. And here, moving up to their opponents. That's getting set to play for the final preseason game of the season. Here on this New Year's Eve, the New York Enforcers and head coach Mark D'Amato. Also out of the North Division. Playing out of Albany, New York, the Times Union Center. Home and away unis for the Enforcers, as they are set to take on the New Jersey Violators from the Times Union Center in Albany, New York. And moving back to the Pacific Division, out west, the Portland Timberwolves, playing out of the Motor Center in Portland, Oregon. Portland Timberwolves, as the Portland, Oregon really look to get the NHL out to the Motor Center in Portland, Oregon. A lot of good fans up there in the Portland area. And now they have the Timberwolves to cheer on up in Portland. Taking a look at the road unis for the T-Wolves. And the alternate uni for the T-Wolves. Portland Timberwolves from the Pacific Division, new team in the IHL this year. And also, moving on to the Great White North, from Quebec City, the Quebec Nordiques making their return to the IHL. Videotron Center in Quebec City finally has a pro team to call their own. Really pushing for Quebec City to get back into the AHL. That whether or not that will happen remains to be seen. But here are the Quebec Nordiques in the IHL. Fans and Quebecers really excited for the return of the Nordiques back to the ice up in Quebec City. From the North Division, the Quebec Nordiques. And from the Great White North all the way down to the Rio Grande Valley, another border town in Hidalgo, Texas, the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees. Playing out of the Dodge Arena in Hidalgo, Texas, just a few miles away from the Rio Grande River, which is the border between the United States and Mexico. Killer Bees making their return to the IHL after a 2-year hiatus. And here are the alternate unis for the Killer Bees. Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees from the South Division. Moving out east to the Atlantic Division, here are the Richmond Railers out of Richmond, Virginia. Another new team in the Atlantic Division of the IHL, the Richmond Railers. And here are their away unis out of the Richmond Coliseum. Virginia area, no stranger to professional hockey. And back to the great state of Texas. Here are the San Antonio Iguanas out of the brand new Alamo Arena in the Alamo City. The Iggies, as they've become known in the Alamo City, once existed in the CHL in the late 90s and early 2000s before the San Antonio Rampage of the AHL came into town. And just this past season, they were bought by the Vegas Golden Knights and moved to Henderson, Nevada as the Henderson Silver Knights. But hockey has returned and fans are excited in the Alamo City. And the San Antonio Iguanas back in the brand new Alamo Arena where they share with UTSA men's and women's basketball. And here is the away unis for the Iguanas. And a very interesting alternate uniform here. When they wear this uniform, they will be known as Los Chimuelos de San Antonio, big Mexican heritage city in San Antonio, Texas. But here they are, the San Antonio Iguanas, making their return to the IHL. Moving out west to San Diego, California, the San Diego Armada in the Pacific Division. Another new team here in the IHL. And there you see the San Diego Armada in the Pacific Division. And staying out west, here are the San Francisco Breakers. San Francisco Breakers will be playing in the brand new Chase Arena in San Francisco, California.
I don't mean to seem weird and distant. You know I fear commitment. Or do I really DM me? Call me, I'm here to listen. I was in London, be bumping up at the sound check.
So another Pacific Division team, the San Francisco Breakers. Moving back up to the Great and White North in the North Division, here are the Saskatoon Blades out of Saskatchewan. And the Blades once a junior team. And now they are playing in the Sasktel Arena in Saskatoon. They'll be joining their fellow Canadian province in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Home and away unis for the Blades. And their alternates. Saskatoon Blades out of the North Division. And moving along, down to the state of Louisiana, the only team in the South Division not from Texas, that is the Bossier-Shreveport Mudbugs, making their return to the AHL. Head coach Scott Musket and the Mudbugs, a great following down in Shreveport in the Bayou City. Playing out of the Century Elite Center in Bossier City, Louisiana. And there you have it, the Bossier-Shreveport Mudbugs. And here are the Tallahassee Tiger Sharks from the Atlantic Division. From the capital city of Florida, the Tiger Sharks, former ECHL team, making their return to the IHL, to the ice here this season. Home and away unis for the Tiger Sharks. And coming down the home stretch here, the final team out west in the Pacific Division, here are the Utah Ice Caps out of Salt Lake City, Utah, playing in the Vivint Smart Arena in Salt Lake City. Home and away unis for the Ice Caps. And last but not least, from the North Division, here are the Washington Generals from our nation's capital, playing out of the Capital One Arena. And that's going to do it, folks, here from the IHL Reveal Show. Hope you've enjoyed it here. And before I sign off here for a few minutes, I will bring you live coverage of the final IHL preseason game as the New York Enforcers take on the New Jersey Violators. Puck is about to drop here at the Times Union Center in Albany, New York. And encourage you to stay tuned for that. And coming up in just a few minutes here on SGTV. Happy New Year, everyone. This is Jared Fowler signing off for now. And have a great and safe, pleasant New Year. Stay safe out there. And hopefully everyone stays set this upcoming new year, and hopefully things will get better, as it has been a struggle this year. But for right now, this is Jared Fowler signing off. Thank you for joining me here tonight. Happy New Year, everyone.